Yeah, I know.
What's up, everyone? Perfect timing, Chris.
Thank you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 113, be recorded on June 7th, 2021. And I am your host, Darth Moocher, and I'm joined here with Scott Solo.
What's up, nerds?
We got Darth Dad 77.
Hi there.
And we've got our pit that's being digested as we speak, and we have our Patreons that are helping us out every month.
We do. We've got our patrons in there. Gavin Connor, who is also in the pit. He's from the Holy Hour podcast.
What's up?
Donald Sulsky, Rebels and Lions. That's Crystal Lamphere. Brandon Epler and his daughter Anya. AJ Herrera for Forbidden Panel. And then those other losers who they think they're podcasters. I don't know what that's all about.
And Brandon's son is birthdays today too. So happy birthday, Brandon's son. I don't know your name, but I saw that in our chat earlier today. So that was very cool.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Brandon's son.
Brandon's son, yes.
Brandon Jr.
Epler. Young Epler.
Young Epler. There
and
we go.
Also, our pit is live. So who's in there with us? I know you mentioned one person already.
I do. We've got Gordon in there. We've got Mando Mike, Santo1414, who I want to say thank you very much for a certain Major Blood action figure you sent me. And Gavin Connor, as mentioned, he is in there as well.
Nice. That you mentioned that Major Blood. Now I want to talk about all the G.I. Joe releases and just.
Hey, we can do that. We got time.
Yeah,
we don't have a lot to talk about other than the Bad Batch.
I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, right. Now, I don't want to lose Chris. I haven't seen him all week. So
I stayed off that train. I wasn't touching it.
Oh, dude.
But I did want the Major Blood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not even going
to. I wasn't going to get him, but yeah, still.
You'll get him.
I had a Cobra Commander in my hand this week, and I was like, oh, it's the first one I've seen.
Really?
I'm like, no.
When Mindbender comes out in this month, you're going to get him?
Oh, jeez.
Because he's rumored to be released this or soon. TM.
I'm looking all up there. I'm like,
it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. There's always one or two from each set that I want to get.
And he might be coming with his trouble bubble, too, so we'll see.
See, you throw him in there with the trouble bubble, I am in. Or a Cobra Claw. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm so hooked. It's not funny. All right, cool. Anyway, let's talk Star Wars. Again, in the week that we've been gone, of course, we had the Bad Batch episode 5 drop, and that's going to be a thing, so we get used to it, and we'll be talking about that. And then we try to kind of scour the happenings and the rumblings and everything that's happening, right? Like the official news. I don't expect anything until around July, I think, because that's usually Comic-Con season, right? I mean, you're going to get some sort of I don't know what they're doing. I know Comic-Con was moved to November, like San Diego.
I believe so, yeah.
Well, this is ending right around July, right?
We got 11 more episodes, so what, 2.5 or
oh shoot, that's
3
August.
months almost, yeah.
August. That's when I would expect
July,
the last two episodes of this series. I would expect.
But you're right. I mean, we're gonna go right into almost September, the beginning of September, and then we have 2 months, 3 months, and then the Book of Fett. So in that time frame, and even before that, I think we're going to get some more things heating up, when it comes to other shows of Fett, and maybe we'll get a trailer soon, or something closer. I don't expect anything within 2 months. I don't expect any news.
I expect if Fett's coming out in December.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't had any updates at all that it's even filming, really, have we?
We won't see crap until October.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I'm not. I don't want to play the hey everybody. There's a trailer next week
because we'll get those eventually, right?
Where it's going to start any minute. Any minute, the guys on Twitter are going to be like, "Oh, I heard from a guy who heard from this chick who knows this girl who went to 31 Flavors last night."
I guess it's pretty serious.
I guess it's pretty serious. That a trailer is coming in the near future,
right?
And that's what we're going to go through this whole
right.
As usual,
I don't want to trailer. Hey guys, I know we do a show and we break things down. I don't want to trailer. I know it's coming. I just want to know the date's coming and then stay up and watch it and talk about it. I at this point, I don't need trailers unless it's a movie. Movies are different.
We will break them down and talk about them anyway.
We will, because that's what we do, right? But at the same time, I'm like Chris. Like if it comes, it comes. I'm not gonna hold my breath on things and anticipate and then describe it to a T and then nothing happens. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Nothing happens at all and then say Disney changed look they switch things on a dime because of.
Oh, we're gonna play that game.
Of course we will, but
We
I
like that.
personally I'm not going to eagerly anticipate it. You know what I mean? Like we
Right.
did with the movies. Like any movies, of course, that's given.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, okay, so Book of Boba Fett, it's supposed to drop this December, right?
Right.
We've
Yep.
seen no behind the scenes
right.
anything. We haven't heard any word about it. Cassian, on the other hand, we've seen we've seen
Set
scenes,
photos, yeah.
or set,
You're
thank you,
right,
set
you're
photos.
right.
Yeah.
We've seen photos of the cast in costume. We've seen shore troopers. Also,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones 5 started
Saw
filming this
that.
week.
Yeah.
We've seen set photos, and we have seen Mr. Jones in
Yep.
his uniform and his outfit as of today.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
Mr. Jones and
So you know what that means? Indiana Jones 6-inch figures coming.
I hope so. God, that would be
See,
amazing.
that's another one.
Target exclusive.
Oh, okay.
You just ruined it.
6-inch, fully articulated, double face, extra whip. Target exclusive.
But that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, we haven't heard or seen anything from Book of Boba Fett. I mean, they could be playing it super close to the vest. They might be
I think
filming it
so.
all inside that little bubble that they do, with
Right.
the giant screens. But you'd think we'd have heard something.
Yeah,
or
some
seen
set
something.
photos like we
I
did with
think-
Mando and
I think that's what's awesome is that they haven't put anything out. I think that's what's neat. We got what we got. We got
Mhm.
that after credit scene.
yeah.
Which
we're
is
wel-
great.
We're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know, and
exactly.
That's our tidbit and our tease until December,
Which is-
man. I think it was
isn't
already
that the
rocking
way-
and rolling.
Isn't that the way to go? Isn't that bring us back? I mean,
Yeah.
our age group, we understand this. So it brings us back to where we saw a movie trailer, we get a release date, and we waited that 3 months, 4 months. We saw the movie, went to school the next morning, talked about it with our. I mean, that's what keeps, I think, the interest going. And instead of dissecting it to death, you know what I mean? And like I said, we will do that, but we won't, go after fake stuff, and we won't, we'll keep it
Yeah, we will.
spoilery free. Well,
No, let's do go for the fake stuff.
go after it,
No, I'm just
or
kidding.
I mean, we'll talk about it.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but yeah, no, I think it's exciting. Again, lack of news sometimes doesn't dumb down the excitement for me personally. I don't know about
Yeah.
anybody
No,
else.
not-
So
I just
I-
worry that it's not happening in the allotted
Right.
time frame that they're saying that it was supposed to happen.
Right.
Sometimes when-
Because Mando was pushed back because of the Book of Boba Fett was supposed to start in December.
right,
So I'm just
yeah.
worried. That's all.
Well,
Sometimes
they haven't
when
given any secure dates on a lot of stuff,
Correct.
which is
No.
neat, right? And including the Rangers, which we think is done, right? We talked about last week.
right,
Mhm.
But everything else, I mean, they haven't talked about Ahsoka, the time frame on Ahsoka. They haven't talked about the time frame on Lando at all. I haven't heard
no,
word 2 on Lando besides
Nothing.
the day it was announced.
right,
I heard a few things, but I mean nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing I can really
Well-
talk about.
well,
Just-
that's
just
why-
the stuff that we've all talked about on here, right? But not
Yeah.
about when it's filming or when it's supposed to come out or
right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
yeah.
the stuff. I mean, the stuff we know. Like, I mean, I know Billy D's in it, and I know Donald Glover's in it. and
Right.
I know that kind of stuff. But
Well, that's the thing that hurts not having these conventions, right? Like New York Comic Con earlier in the year, and then San Diego,
Fair.
which was and Toy Fair, and San Diego was the pinnacle. That was where you drop, a lot of things, and even Star Wars, they have dropped things in the past, and we'll get back to that. Again, I think this time away is good, because I think come next year, I think we're gonna really get flooded by this stuff.
I think we still play the same game where something's going to come out in 1 month and say June, and we're not going to see anything until April, and something's going to come out in December. We're not going to see anything until October. I think we're going to see that
couple
same
months in
cycle
between.
of stuff like a normal IP.
Right. Right.
It's just what you do. And you know why they're going to do it? Because there's too much crap going on at Disney.
Yeah.
You can't give something a year's worth of attention. You just can't.
Right.
And because you're going to have we have a Star Wars show right now. What happens next month? We get Loki, right? And then after Loki ends, then we get Star Wars.
Right.
Then it comes
Oh, I
back,
hear
we
you.
get another
Yeah.
Marvel, and boom, boom, boom. They just
Loki-
they can't give the time.
Loki starts Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, Wednesday. Well,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I mean, there you go.
But it
And then
does.
they just started pimping Loki last month.
They did.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we start to get into the Bad Batch talk and stuff, and there might be a reason for that. Like, well, they might not do a large drop, Mando season 3 or a live action, like I said, Ahsoka in the middle of dropping like a Loki or a Marvel thing, like you said, staggering it, which is smart on Disney's part. Like Disney would be smart to stagger things, even though everybody's going to consume both,
Yeah.
but they're not going to not us. Okay, split fans might not vest their time into something when they have to split. I saw this and I saw this, so I don't know what to talk about. It's like they're smart. Disney knows what we do, or as far as like what it's out there, podcasting and the marketing, the talk and the hype and all that stuff. So with the Bad Batch is different. Like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, so I'm again, the lull is cool for me. I like it. Calm before the storm, always. We're used to it by now, and we're also used to rumors, of course. And of course, we got another one this week.
Well, it was a few weeks ago. We just haven't talked about it yet.
Because I saw
it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. Because I saw a headline like Daisy Ridley in talks to bring back Rey, like
right. Well,
to reprise her role.
To reprise her role. We haven't talked about it yet, and I think it came from one of those dinky places we don't usually talk about. But
yeah,
we'll let it go and play with it.
Sure.
I mean, the rumor is she's in talks to come back. Now, nothing about where, why, how, or what to do. Yep. Would you guys want to see a continuation of Rey?
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say every time I see a headline, no matter what it is, I ask myself, do I want to see this happen first before it's even true or false, right? Like the rumor, and I don't know. I'm torn on this because of the sequel stuff, and it's not because of the public opinion on the sequels. It's not at all. I find myself personally not looking that direction a lot of times. So when Daisy Ridley comes in and says, or anything like that with reprising the role of Rey, that's what we look at mostly. Yes, of course I'll consume it, I'll watch it, and we put it in its place. That's what we do. But I don't know if I want to spend that much more energy in her story anymore, personally. Or like I maybe they should just leave it as is, as speculation. Yes, Scott.
All right. They, like Chris had said, there's been no actual communication as to what they're thinking, the way they would approach it. This could be animated. It could be her voice. It could be her voice added to that Star Wars Visions series, where they're taking the saga and turning it into an anime. So it's not necessarily new Rey.
Right. It's not episode 10, right? Like we're saying. Yeah. Not necessarily.
But if they were to give us something about like a further adventure of Rey, I'd be willing to sit down and watch it. I'm not upset about that idea. We saw that sick new yellow lightsaber of hers. I'd love to see it in action somehow.
Yeah.
But that being said, we have no idea. I'm thinking animated because she's done her voice before.
Correct.
And for what was that
she has done her voice before.
Shut up. You know what I mean? The animated,
she's
done the animated Rey voice before. She did it for that Destiny.
Forces of Destiny.
Yeah. Forces of Destiny. Thank you. Yeah. So I could see that, but I think it would also be cool to see her in the future, though, with a new Jedi Order or trying to be a Jedi Knight, a Jedi Master.
That's where I land on it. Is what I want to see is a Disney Plus series, anthology style, where she goes through trainings with different Jedi from the teachings of the Jedi text. And as she's doing that, whatever story she's teaching, it intertwines with her story. So you'll get flashbacks of old Jedi, old Sith, or whatever, and it'll flash back with her people.
Right.
Her people. Her and Grogu.
Right. Well, speaking of Grogu, like here's the thing, like again, as a fanboy, this is what I did project in my head, right? And what we get was what we get. But I would love to see something as a future content if we're moving past the sequels. Speaking of Grogu, we'd go 200 years. I'm thinking, I'll just do a number out, 200, because that's a big distance to separate yourself from the Skywalker saga, this to Rey, everything. You can let that lie as it is, the sequels 1 through 9 on the shelf. Fast forward 200 years, you have Grogu and this whole nother. Then Star Wars can change. Remember we talked about this a while ago, how the sequels have to stay true to the format of Star Wars, and I think that's what people got upset for. The Chosen One, the Midichlorian, just whatever it is, what George Lucas set up. It has to stay true, and I think it deviated from that. Now, fast forward 200 years, you can deviate a lot and broaden this story of different kind of Force users, meaning no more Sith, no more Jedi, something different, something better, something worse. Who knows? It's enough time to do that. Just like you can go back and do the same thing,
Yeah, but that would take Rey out of the equation.
Correct,
That
and
would
that's
hit
Unless it's Force
Right.
Ghost. But I don't know what the link would be to make her because with every Force Ghost we've had so far, there's been some kind of a link to the current characters.
correct.
Well,
So-
until the Rise of Skywalker, where every Force Ghost on the planet that shouldn't even be able to do a Force Ghost voice did a Force Ghost voice.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
There's no reason
they
Isla
didn't-
Secura knew how to do that.
Exactly. We didn't get enough backstory on her, and at first I wanted to think it was like echoes. You're right, echoes in the Force. That kind of stuff, or
Kind
ripples
of like
in the
Han
Force.
Solo was.
Yeah,
Whenever he
yeah.
spoke with Ben.
Yeah, I saw that completely on its own different plane of existence than a Force Ghost, right? Like
It was on
just,
his head.
we were just getting
Yeah.
to see inside of his head and really what was working, whether it was through the Force or not. It wasn't like the corporeal looking
Right.
Force ghosting.
Right.
It was real to him, but
Yeah, and
nobody
Gordon
else would have seen it.
and Gordon in the chat agrees with me. He likes to see like something with Grogu set in a way future. Because I
Yeah.
think
Awesome.
think that's familiar. It's a
That's got to
familiar
be the
character.
plan. If he survives, that's the plan. is
Correct.
He'll have to be the one that we can see 200 years.
And I
later.
can
That's what
see
they
a
wanna see.
whole, I can see a whole new slate of films and everything set in that way distant future. Just like
Yeah. Just
High
look at-
Republic is 200 years or 300 years before.
Go 200 years in the future.
Right. So
It's like the old comic series from Legends with the Legacy series. The Legacy series was fantastic. With you had Cade Skywalker and you had what was it, Darth? They had Darth Talon and all of the different Sith lords
right.
that were no longer bound by the rule of two,
Right.
and the Galactic Empire, which was the good side this time around. And I mean, that was a fantastic comic series.
You say this time around like it wasn't the whole time. They were the established government. They were the good
Yeah.
guys the whole time.
it's true.
You
It's
always
true.
forget that. You always say like they're the bad guys. They're not the rebels are the bad guys.
Well, they're set up to be. You're right. It is a
We've
great.
seen it with the Wampas, the Tauntauns,
Well,
any creature that lives.
I know.
rebels
Also
are
in
bad
the
guys.
Aftermath books, right? They did a great passage in the Aftermath books when one planet was liberated by the rebels after the
Mhm.
destruction, and the civilians were pissed. They were like, "We had it better. We actually had running water when we had the Empire here.
Yeah, I
Now
could f-
we're on our own, and half of us are dead. Thank you."
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the sentiment, like at least under oppression, we ate. you
Mhm.
know, so I don't know. It's a give and take, right? But yeah, you're right. To the certain point of view, the galactic point of view, the rebels were rebels for a reason. They're the
Mhm.
terrorists for the reason, but they're fighting for the greater good, of course. But yeah,
That's neither here nor there. What
Right.
I mean is you could go into the future and do a story hundreds of years in the future and
Right,
have
yeah.
it nothing to do with
right. You can
Rey,
change. You
Luke,
can
Han.
change. You can change you can change it to a point where you can start a new narration. And it won't make us mad. It won't make
No.
the pure Star Wars guy, because again, you're getting away from the Skywalker saga, which we all love, and that's what we grew up with.
So
I think we need to see it evolve.
yeah, a little bit. It has been. It was just too early,
Mhm.
right? It was
Yeah.
in the same time. It was in the same.
You muted yourself, I think.
We can't hear you.
I can't hear you, Chris.
Nope.
You just dropped.
So we'll continue this discussion, and
Yeah.
Chris, just kind of move your mouth, and we'll make up things that you can say. I think
That was
Chris
weird. Like mid-sentence, it just
Am I
dropped.
back?
Yeah, there
You're
you go.
back.
So dumb.
Weird.
My internet connection is unstable.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I don't usually get that. Look at that. And I was making fun of yours earlier.
I see.
Man, you can't trust that frontier.
It's the Tatooine
No,
wind, man. We get
uh,
windstorms up here like crazy.
Apparently. Shoot, what was I saying? You don't know.
I don't
It
know.
was awesome. I was on a rant. Grogu. So thinking about Grogu, I think he's a bad. Okay, as they would say, as she would say. Oh my God, Omega would say.
Right.
I think he's a bad batcher.
Uh-huh.
I think he's gonna live to be like 2,700 years old.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ooh.
I think he ages slower instead of his aging was screwed around with, but not expedient. Like everybody else ages quickly. He ages slow. That's why he's 50.
That's
right
true.
now.
If the cloners could accelerate a growth, they can decelerate the growth.
Right.
Oh,
So
we're going with clone. Okay.
But we already know he's that's already a. That's
no, I'm
No,
totally.
it's not.
I'm against that actually, but yeah.
What?
I hate that theory that he's a clone. I like individualism in Star Wars. I don't even like the clones at all. Like that concept. I bought into it
from day one. The Clone Wars. How are you not into?
Because
clones?
we talked about this, man.
We just gonna eat some popcorn and sit back and watch it.
Exactly. Here we go. We talked about this. It was like it can't literally be clones.
Like 20 times.
Yeah, we did. Dude. It's very true. Yeah. No. Again, I buy into it. I'm on board.
It has to be clones. It has to be clones.
But it's got to stop somewhere.
Star Wars is no. It doesn't. It's all about cloning.
When Camino gets destroyed, there's gonna be no more of that. So what's out there is out there.
But you see, there's a person you two literally interviewed a cloner.
Yeah, but also Dexter Jester actually said these cloners are good. So there's more than
and good ones too.
And good ones too. So there's obviously more cloners out there.
And I do assume that's the regular cloner like union symbol, not Kaminoan necessarily.
Oh, I gotcha.
Right. But no, it's definitely what's going on. He's decelerated. He's a bad batch.
That's pretty. I never even thought about that actually, like ever. Decelerate.
So they were able to clone force-sensitive beings for once and get it right. I like it.
Kind of, but he's a bad batch. Now he's ages freaking slow.
Right.
Gotcha. Because maybe they didn't do it on purpose. Maybe that was the thing. They got the force in there, but the side effect was he's going to be a baby for 500 years.
200 years of diapers. Jeez,
right.
Man.
Oh my God.
Works.
At least we haven't seen that. We haven't seen him having his diaper changed.
No, but you can headcanon that, right?
Could you imagine with the things that kid eats?
The back of the Razor Crest smelled really bad. Yeah, it was not good.
It wasn't really a laser blast that blew up the Razor Crest. It was the vac tube.
It was the methane that was trapped. No, okay. Anyway,
it wasn't a laser blast. Something hit us.
You brought up Omega, so let's get into Omega. Let's get into episode 5 of the Bad Batch. Called Decommission. Now, when that title came up, I kind of was like, I perked up, like, huh?
Yeah.
Because decommission could mean a lot of things. I thought for sure we're gonna lose somebody today, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
No, I thought Rex was coming.
Well, that too. I thought of a lot of things, But what we did get, it was okay. Overall, the episode was pretty fun. It's definitely another filler. Another.
It's getting somewhere. It's getting somewhere
in baby steps. Correct.
Baby steps.
Yeah, and which is okay. 5 episodes in. I said this last episode how like okay, I get that we're gonna have these lulls, and then by this week, right? It'd be the 6th episode, so you got your third of the way through. Not even that, like a little before that, but
yeah. But they're also 22-minute episodes, not 40 like the live actions we get. Which of the 40 minutes, let's take Wanda real quick. Of the 40 minutes, 38 of it was filler, and 2 minutes was awesome for the first 6.
Yes,
or first five episodes, right?
Yeah,
and then it went apeshit.
It did.
Right, and that's what I want to happen here. Is okay. We're kind of lining up the dominoes.
We are
right as soon as Wrecker goes all good soldier, phase 2.
Yeah,
the domino gets pushed, and we can go apeshit.
Mm-hmm. So. Right? Yeah, so Wrecker had a moment in this one.
Wrecker had a moment.
He had a big moment.
He hit his head again, and the chip was activating. He was starting to hear the good soldiers follow order thing, and it got like scary there. And I was like, oh hell, here we do. Now, can I ask you, like, does that put the Bad Batch in danger? Because Order 66 is nothing to do with them, right? They would Hunter would try to stop him. I think Tech would be like, hell yeah, do what you gotta do because it makes sense. But
I think at this point, when what's going to happen is they're not going to talk about it. It will be. I think it'll be Rex when Rex shows up, or these girls are gonna the Toretto sisters are gonna send them to meet Ahsoka.
Right.
That's where my head's at. I'm thinking because we know Rex is coming. I think that this leads to Ahsoka, who at this point in time, Ahsoka and Rex should be side by side, unless they immediately. After the final episode of the Clone Wars parted ways. But I don't see them doing that. I don't see them leaving each other that quickly.
They found each other in Rebels.
Breaks loose.
Right.
No way.
You're right.
So I'm thinking, I was headcanoning this all this weekend. I'm like, okay, so this they lead to Ahsoka, and Wrecker's going to go nuts on him.
Right.
Rex is going to be there. Rex is going to know what's going on. Ahsoka's going to know what's going on. Is this how we end up getting also a Wolf and Gregor into the fold, into the mix? I mean, there's a lot could happen.
Because
could happen.
Because Rex is taking Chips out.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Rex has his out already. Rex is going to take Wolf and Gregor's out.
Mhm.
So why not take Wrecker's out?
Mhm.
If they can knock the hell out of Wrecker,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and take him to somebody that can help,
Right.
that's probably the way they're going to have to do it. Something like that. It's where we're going to have to get we're going to answer for the Rebels crew, the Rebels clones, right?
Right.
Like you say, it'll be cool. It should be good.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of upset Wrecker's not part of that crew in Rebels now.
Oh, right.
I would know it was all taken out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be upset if Wrecker turns like bad because I really do like Wrecker.
Well,
He's great. He's a great character.
they did it to Crosshair, and Crosshair was already questionable.
Crosshair
Yes.
is the perfect one to send bad.
Right.
His whole attitude,
Yeah.
his persona, it was perfect.
Yeah, you're
Wrecker,
right. Yeah.
Wrecker's the teddy bear, dude.
Yeah.
You turn Wrecker, you're breaking hearts.
Well, that's why
Mhm.
it's going to be a struggle and stuff. Yeah. So, and of course, we know Tech is working on the thing to identify the chip and maybe reprogram it. Who knows? So we're gonna get. So yeah, it's going that way. It's going full force in that way. And like I said, he had a moment, which was really cool. I like that a lot.
We've got, let me see. Douglas Tupper says it was he thinks it's Bail Organa. And I think it's too soon for it to be Bail Organa.
See, okay. You guys mentioned that too before.
Marco thinks it's the rebellion.
Yeah,
people,
Mon
right?
Mothma or Bell. Because I think that it was happening a lot. I think it was happening a lot more because again, this is after Clone Wars, which was like 5 years, right? Of all of Clone Wars. So
Clone Wars is 3 years.
3 years. Okay, that's 3 years for the Alliance, and we already Bell already knew this. What was happening. He was there for the Order 60. He already knew. He was organizing it then, right after Order 66. I think when he met up with Yoda and all that stuff. I think I think that's plenty of time for the Alliance to be brand new. Now, I don't think they have a fleet. I don't think they have an army. I think they're just a mindset of we've got to do something, and there's more out there. Yes, we saw
like-minded people talking.
Yeah, and yes, we saw Saul Guerrera flip on a dime. I mean, on a dime, right? But they're going to realize that, like I said, they have the think tank going. All of a sudden, they're going to look at like a militant group like Saul's group, and they'll be like, "Look, we've got the start of something. The spark is there." And I think 3 years is plenty of time for that. And of course, the sisters are in it. Rafa and Trace came back from season 7, which makes perfect sense that they would make an appearance here. We know they're connected.
They have the connection to Ahsoka.
Correct.
I don't think they've got the connection to Bail Organa.
We don't know. I mean, it's been how many years?
She has a connection to Ahsoka. She has a connection to Bail, but that's drawing the lines themselves. The lines are already there to Toretto.
We're also talking. Okay, so the final episode of the Clone Wars just freaking happened, like galactically speaking, a week ago.
Right. Yes, You're right.
And Ahsoka left the Toretto sisters maybe a week or two before that.
Yeah,
we don't know because we don't know. It went immediately from one to the other. I don't know how long she was with the Mandalorians before the Siege of Mandalore. So I mean, I don't honestly think there's enough time for them to get with Bail.
I agree.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not because I've been wrong many a time before.
Well, they're obviously looking for somebody in a rebellion type or a espionage type thing. They're obviously working for someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do think, to your point, there's Ahsoka's the middleman. Ahsoka is probably teamed up with Bail. I think that's possible.
Yeah, I think where everybody's going there because of season 7, what they did, and Ahsoka ties to the sisters.
The Bail makes sense because of the outfit.
Correct. It was like tan and white. Yeah.
That's the thing is it doesn't look like an Ahsoka outfit, but we're again a couple days from Order 66. Who knows who anybody's wearing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well,
that's it. Or it's Quinlan.
Well,
it's not Quinlan. I'm just kidding.
What other possibilities besides could they be working for the opposite side, the sisters? I mean,
that's what I was immediately thinking. Whenever I saw it happen, I'm like, these freaking sisters, man. Of course they're going to be the ones. And then Julie's actually the one who said, I was thinking Ahsoka. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Well,
the other option I've had, it's either Ahsoka or it's Fett again. He's dealing with everybody. right? Everybody, anytime somebody's
Wow.
talking to somebody on a hologram,
Yeah.
It's Fett.
always Boba Fett.
Hey, you know what? We just talked about the lack of information on the Book of Fett, but this is all leading. I mean, it's all
That's what
there,
I'm saying.
and it's like, look, the marketing's been there this whole 16 episodes.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's dead ass serious. If you find
Wow.
out Fett's been behind the whole thing,
Yeah.
and not in a bad way, like he's pulling somebody's strings to do something, but he's trying to get to Omega,
Right.
and all this stuff, and whatever he's doing, he's also doing whatever with the Torettos who just happen to cross paths.
Yeah.
It's a small galaxy. It happens.
Right. But the sisters were there to obviously take the command droid from the decommissioned battle droids. That's why the whole thing. They were there to steal the command droid, to steal the droid army.
I like when they bring in tactical droids, and that was kind of a gimmick in Rebels too.
Yeah.
Right. So that was cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Bad Batch was there to do. No, they weren't there to do that. We had the tactical droid. Yeah.
For Sid, they were doing another,
Correct.
mercenary job for
Well,
Sid.
thankfully the droid was already in pieces.
Right.
Really convenient
Right.
there, folks, and called out really nice. Oh, look, it's already in pieces.
Yeah. So Sid's obviously that's a job for whoever they need that, right? That's a good paying job. And then the sisters are there
quick.
too. Yeah.
And again, if Sid gets any more video gamey,
Right.
this is the one. This was I've got your mission. And even while she was doing it, somebody said something. So this is my debrief.
Right.
Like this whole thing was very. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be her voice. But I'm in Bounty Hunter every time she opens her mouth.
It's
every
good.
single time.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
because
good.
it's
It's
a great
weird.
game. That's why.
It is a great game. It's just weird. She's odd to me. She's taking me out of it every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in a different place when I'm listening to Sid.
Our guards are up, right? I think my guard is up on every single character in the
Yeah.
show. It's like,
because I don't know what to expect.
right.
from
I mean, she's
one minute
working
to
for
the next.
Jabba, obviously. She's taking jobs. I mean, yeah, she's a mercenary or whatever, or middleman, stuff like that. Again, okay, she's working for somebody that wants a tactical droid. The sisters are working for somebody that wants a tactical droid now that can buy into the whole alliance thing. The alliances the rebels are looking for an army, and decommissioned battle droids would have been a perfect start to
because it helps you fight clones. That's what they said, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Even the clones said these guys, every battle they fight, they get smarter. And right now, knowing how to beat clones is what we need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that's also what Boba Fett's thinking, because Boba Fett needs to fight the clones to get Omega and do whatever, because he knows the clones are on that side right now.
Yeah. So he
It's good.
probably
It's
has.
It's also what Ahsoka needs to do in order to save whatever other Jedi might be out there.
It's a cannonball run to get this droid.
Right.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
And of course, Ahsoka has to be in hiding. Has to. I mean, because we got Darth Vader out there looking for a Jedi too.
Yeah,
what I
she
mean?
can't be out here playing around right now.
Yeah,
she can't be anything about Fulcrum yet.
So
It's
you would
way-
think
way
hire
too-
the sisters that she got to know to go do this. It's there. Like
Yeah,
our version
it
is
is.
there. Let's put it that way.
I know some girls that can do this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's just a link. It's a network.
Right. Right. Like I said, our version of the Bad Batch is there.
Mando Mike says it's a white tunic. Maybe it's a Kaminoan that's.
Well, it could
ordering
be.
the-
What's her name?
which
Sala
could be.
Sala, whatever last name
Oh,
was.
it wasn't Karen. So it's
Well-
something. Kala.
Yeah, it could be
The
her because remember
scientist.
she let Omega go, and she's the one who was kind of like, our working, kind of like for the Bad Batch to get away. So yeah, it could be her.
Nala say.
Nala say,
Nala
thank
say,
you.
that's it.
And if it is her, okay, cool. But I don't know. It's got to be something
Yeah,
like
I'm
dramatic, right? I mean, we always look for that.
I want it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want it. We want dramatic on it. So
It's always cooler to go. Oh,
Yeah.
damn! I can't believe he was talking to all of them at once.
yeah,
Because it would make sense, right? He's sending Sid after it. He's also got the girls after it.
Yep.
He's covering his bases. There's a bounty on the head of this damn thing.
right. But
Like,
they almost killed
everyone's
each other
technical.
over it and almost lost it over it too. So
Doug Tupper says Ahsoka wouldn't hurt the clones, and she also wouldn't save him. She wouldn't save him. She knows
she wasn't gonna be the one to
You
kill
know,
them. Yeah,
there's also a fine line. The clones have executed basically her entire family. As far as she's aware, Obi-Wan's dead, Anakin's dead. Everybody that she grew up with is dead because of the clones.
so she wouldn't hurt the clones, but she will hurt commissioned soldiers when
she
when
wouldn't
they
hurt
come
the
in.
clones in season 7.
Right,
Because those were her clones. Those were her troopers.
Right.
Now it's different. Like Scott said, they've changed. She had to get through all that. She had to cycle through all that in her mind,
Right.
you know, and go through it. And okay, well, shit, they're bad. I'm gonna have to kill them.
There's a lot to unpack there. Yeah, it's yeah.
Like I said,
she'll
the
have
whole
to be able to turn on them. She'll have to turn on them at some point.
yeah. Like I said, I was just kind of thinking like when there's no more clones, then you have the commissioned stormtroopers that now it's people who've made a choice to fight me. You know, not a chip.
But there will always be clones.
Right.
In her generation, this whole through the original trilogy, there are clones in existence. They're just fewer, right? We know there's one on Tatooine that talks to Luke and Obi-Wan, and he's just a stormtrooper. So killing clones, she's gonna kill clones by proxy. Just
right. Gordon brought up Scott was answering Gordon. Yeah, he's asking if the sisters turned to the hologram and addressed it as a he. I don't think it was a he or she at all. It was just like
I don't remember.
I think she said something like we have cloners in the mix or something. What did she say?
It was very they. I forget, but it was we almost had it, or I forget, but it was.
There was no pronoun.
Yeah, there was no pronoun. They didn't.
Right, but she also like when she was addressing the about the bat, she was like, "Hey, good thing you want to know something. These guys are here." It made it seem like the person that they were working for was also trying to find the Bad Batch.
Oh, I didn't take it like that. I just thought that they could be helpful to their cause.
Oh, maybe that too, huh?
Mando Mike is on the job. He's gonna gonna go look it up and see what it says.
Thank you. We can always depend on the pit to.
That's right. The Sarlacc pit is always working for us here.
Exactly.
If it's anybody besides Ahsoka or Boba Fett, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Nala Say might be the outside shot. Outside.
Now I haven't thought of that until now. You know what I mean?
And I still don't
because her story's not over, and it makes
by far,
But for her to contact the sisters is like I said,
she'd be coming after the girl, not the droid.
Right.
She's looking out for the kid. She don't care about.
Or she knew that they were going after the droid, so the girl would be there, so she sent them to intercept. You know what I mean?
If anything, Kaminoans know how to beat the clones.
Oh yeah.
Again, Order 69 is completely different.
Oh yeah.
Once they hit it,
man, we're never mind.
We're gonna flip this shit upside down, folks. Order 69. Boom.
Turn into a party.
God. Now, am I sick in wanting to see Kamino just get obliterated?
No, I want to see it too.
I want to see the Empire just go in there and obliterate the Kaminoans and erase all trace of their existence.
Me too.
I know we just said this about the Kaminoans being the good cloners, and that kind of like insinuates
they're good ones,
right?
They're good at cloning.
Yeah, but that also insinuates there's other factions out there that do cloning, right? But I would like to think if Kamino was destroyed, then there's no chance of that happening again. Fast forward in the future, because
and then
in the immediate future.
Oh, what was I thinking? I could have had a perfectly cloned body.
Right. We know there's different chambers because they've mentioned cloning chambers in Aftermath, right? How he had his different hideouts, and there would be things there. Or we've seen cloning chambers in the comic, the Darth Vader comic. We've seen it
in Mando.
Revenge of the Rise of what's that?
And in Mando. Like Rise of Skywalker and Mando,
man, it exists.
Just maybe on a smaller level.
We haven't heard SPA-RT yet, but we know that exists in EU, which means they're gonna bring it in.
Yeah,
there's different. There'll be different ones. It'll be cool.
Mando Mike says there was no he or she. It was strictly a thought you might want to know.
That's what
thought you might want to know. Okay, it's all okay. If that's
Ahsoka.
Yeah.
My money's on Ahsoka. I'm probably wrong, but that's where I'm putting my credits there.
Those are the two I would go for. Matter of fact, I'm saying Boba just because I want them both to be talking to Boba. I want Fennec and them, but really, realistically, to me, Fennec was talking to Boba and Toretto's are talking to Ahsoka.
Right.
That's what's happening. And eventually, somebody's going to talk to Thrawn, just so we can get them all in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I know this has nothing to do with who they're talking about, but my bet is Vader's going to make an appearance here somewhere. Somehow, somewhere, we're going to see him.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's on the HoloNet.
No, I think we'll have to see Vader. I think there's a really key here where we're going to run into a Jedi, and it's going to be a chase. I think this is where we get rid of some major Jedi. And again, my money on that's been on Voss for a long time, so I'm pretty sure Voss will show up.
Quinlan Voss would be amazing. They could do the whole thing where they introduce a brand new Jedi on the run that ends up having information and dying at the last second, so it can't get a point across, kind of deal. That whole red herring kind of stuff.
I'm going to go back to, we still haven't seen, and it's my go-to every time we start talking about missing Jedi. I'm going to go back to Barasafi. We still don't know where that bitch is. So. She betrayed Ahsoka. I mean, I'd like to see some kind of finality with her story, whether or not she is, recruited to become an Inquisitor, or whether or not, because we know the Jedi Temple Guard became the Grand Inquisitor.
Right.
It doesn't, Barasafi could become an Inquisitor, or they could just, maybe we see the Grand Inquisitor. Maybe we see the beginning of that.
That would be cool to see some Inquisitors.
Well, again, it is Filoni's baby, and he's known to tie things in like that, like really, really good too. Again,
but tying things in, how good did Corellia look versus Solo?
Seriously,
looked fantastic.
Yeah, they did a really good job making those two match up. Really, the tone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just thought that was really, really neat.
I love the fact that we went back to Corellia. I love that. That was exciting. That was cool. Like I said,
Mantell and Corellia rocking right now. It's pretty neat for nerds.
Like I said, this episode was fun.
But you had actually said something in our chat.
I
where
did.
You're not entirely sure you're sold on the series.
Okay, so
why is that?
Because of the slow. Like, again, I know. Preface this with 5 episodes in and baby steps. I get it, but with all those Clone Wars episodes that we got and some of the Rebels and stuff, I'm like, okay, how much more of the same do I, as somebody, like, gonna sit back and enjoy? Yes, but at the same time, I think we're done baby stepping this. I think we need to go in there and punch people in the face every episode. I really do, and it's not like it's not like I'm being impatient. I think it means more that way in this kind of story. And I always said, and I go, I get it. I know it's a kid's story, but I feel sometimes when I'm watching this, it's going in that direction and never coming back from that. Like, it's going to be a
Resistance level TV show.
A PG cartoon going forward, and we might get tidbits here and there, but I don't know if we're going to get those. That's my initial feeling, right? Like, punch again. This week's episode could prove me wrong, and I'll be, oh my God, this is like the best. And I don't need it violent. I just need it faster. It's like
I need some new ideas, because again, we said the trope with the tactical droid has been done by Filoni.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And next week we're probably going to get some. Let's dress up like troopers and stormtroopers and
infiltrate. We're always going to get those things, right? So that's what I think I'm getting frustrated at those steps with stuff we've seen before, and I know that's needed sometimes to move the story along. But at this point, I'm like, okay, it's Filoni's doing it's his doing, and I think he should know better, like, or go like, hey, I've done this about 4 times already. I'm gonna do it again, and that's where I'm getting frustrated, because it's he should know better to not repeat this. And that whole thing, how it began, I have another mission for you. Like, it's like, oh my God, we're going back to Mando again. Like, we just got done saying how similar this is to the Mando formula, and it keeps proving us right, and that's where I was getting a little bit discouraged, But then something like I said, something come up. We can get a pivotal scene. We can get Camino blowing up. We can get Vader. Who knows? And I'll be like right back in there, and then see this as an overall. Which I'm confident that we're gonna get this at the end of the season. At the end of this whole thing, we're gonna be like, hey man, that was a hell of a ride. Not unlike Resistance, where
it never went anywhere.
It didn't go enough. It didn't do enough. It had.
Resistance didn't have the consequences that Rebels and Clone Wars, and so far even the Bad Batch have. There were adventures, there was slapstick, but there was no real resonance to the events around them and the things that were happening to them.
Yeah,
like we had the big episode where the New Republic was obliterated, and Kaz's family is supposed to be there. And he's like, oh my God, my family. And the very next episode, he's like, okay, I'm going to go trip over some more stuff and act like an idiot. And
exactly.
There were no consequences. There were no feelings behind any of that.
Right.
It was just a kid's cartoon.
Yeah. And that's my fear, right? Or
There's already enough death and destruction in this to
But
not
we're at
be
that time.
labeled
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
kid's cartoon.
And I think it's
way darker, way everything.
It is.
It's slow burn, dude. And it
slow
has
burn.
been,
Yeah.
and it can be. And again, when you say like we look at Wanda or Mandalorian, which had a couple of Falcon Winter Soldier, all these different shows,
Right.
they've all got 8 or 12 episodes. These guys have a lot more episodes.
I agree with that. And that's
animated moves a lot faster than live action. So you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
It can change, but I'm with you, dude. I'm not sold right now.
But at the same time that you're frustrated that we've already seen the kind of slow burn in the animated before, like with Rebels and like with Clone Wars, I hang my hat on the fact that we've seen this kind of slow burn with Rebels and Clone Wars, and eventually they became amazing.
They did.
Like Rebels took 4 or 5 episodes before I was sold. Otherwise, I thought, what is this? This is not for me. And then once the real gravitas of the situation hit, I'm like, I am in. And that wasn't until 4 or 5 episodes in.
100%.
So, but like you said, it has been done.
Yeah.
And maybe it's time for something different. But if that's what they're going to do and it gets better, I'm good.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, this is season 8 of Clone Wars.
Correct.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to follow the same formula that Clone Wars follows.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're just not following
Actually,
Jedi. We're following those guys. Yeah.
And in that way, I would say I like this better than so far. I mean, if they have a set of episodes that's on par with the final season of Clone Wars, the final 4 episodes of that, I'd say this is a better season of Clone Wars than the last season of Clone Wars.
You're right. You're right.
Better than 7?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, of course. Because the other thing great about that one was the last 4.
Right.
Yes.
And
the Toretto and Bad Batch episodes were okay.
Yeah. And again, like I said, Filoni being in charge of this, I could sit back and in 11 weeks from now be like, oh my God, guys, the last 5 weeks were just blowing my mind. And hey, maybe it's getting old or getting impatient, but at the same so I know we got to get there, right? But
we think it's a continuation of everything, right?
Yeah,
and we think about that way with kind of like Batman movies, and
right.
Whether we think it's been redone, there are people that are new to it.
Yeah, I get it.
Single time, so you gotta let them in every time. Oh, this is how Batman's parents died for the 15th time for everybody else.
Martha,
but it's the first time for somebody,
right?
You're right. It's the same thing through this show that not everybody watched Clone Wars.
Yeah.
A small percentage of people watch, so they're probably assuming more people are watching Bad Batch than first originally watched Clone Wars.
I hear you. Hey, because I see a lot of posts actually of people backtracking, going back to Clone Wars because of this show. Like, I'm restarting Clone Wars, or I'm finishing up that because the Bad Batch has got me intrigued. And
oh my God, where's Clone Wars been my entire life? That kind of thing.
Right.
So I get it. I get why they do it. It's just for us that are into it and have watched everything 20 times and are waiting for something new and big to happen. We want it done like today. Like we want to watch a movie and be done.
Yeah, I find myself like
series.
not watching the show until the last 2 minutes of the show. It's like I'm actually looking on my phone. I'm right at
the end. We're gonna watch them all in a row.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be like,
you're right.
And that was such an important piece in that crappy episode.
And I can't do that. I can't watch my phone when I'm looking at a Star Wars thing because I know there's stuff going on in the background. There's little Easter eggs and
that's on my second watch, right? Like that's the stuff.
I'll put it on the TV and
yeah. But see, I'm like that too. So I'm like sitting there. It was just way too predictable. Like just like the last one. Oh, they're captured. Oh, she's good. Oh, okay, I understand everything. I can write this without even watching it. I knew that wasn't Moochie. I knew that the kid wasn't Moochie. I knew that she's gonna learn how to do the bow and arrow thing. It's like, oh yes, they're gonna have this thing. Oh yeah, the droids. You activate. Okay, cool. They're activating the droids. I get it. It was so predictable. The only thing that was like cool was the Wrecker moment and the hologram moment at the end. That's the stuff that I, besides Record, because we were saying that was heating up. But that hologram moment at the end is it's everybody. Those are the end credit things, right? Those are the things that people look at the end credit because what's to come, The Saturday.
And we're all just waiting for the ending. We're taking this ride to get to the end, and the thing that sucks.
So thank God there are 20 minutes,
yeah. If it was, if I had to watch those 2 in a row, right, and that was my week, I'd be like,
yeah.
20 minutes. I can get over it.
Seriously,
there's a conversation going on in our chat right now where it's where Mando Mike sent me a screen capture of the hologram person from the end.
Okay.
And it does look like it is wearing a Jedi tunic. At first, he thought it was maybe a Kaminoan outfit, but it really does look like a Jedi tunic, but like a classic style Jedi tunic, like something Obi-Wan might wear. So, and I mean, all you see is, this part of the shoulder right here. So it could be anybody.
Oh, so it wouldn't be Ahsoka though, because she doesn't wear.
She never wore. Yeah, she never wore a proper tunic.
Her fulcrum outfit though. I don't know if that's
not very. It's still not even.
Not even close.
No,
not even close. No,
because that was light colored, right? So.
No, we'd have to be her
second one was
Gandalf, her Ahsoka the White.
Yeah, Ahsoka the White. Yeah.
No.
The second one was
Then I don't think it's Obi-Wan either. I don't think any.
I was gonna say, could it be Obi-Wan?
It shouldn't be Obi-Wan. It can't be Obi-Wan. I mean, he just went through all that, and he's on Tatooine with a baby right now, trying to find the Lars.
Have we worked out how long this has been so far? These 5 episodes? It hasn't been 5 days or a week. It's been months.
Yeah, it's been a lot longer than that.
Sure, it's been months.
Yeah,
so it's Redos would have had time, I suppose.
Well,
we need backstory if there's another Jedi involved besides Ahsoka. We'll need a lot of explaining.
Yeah. See, Mon Mothma comes to mind because of the tunic or the dress.
That's fair.
That's
fair. She does.
Or I guess Bail
so does Bail.
I mean,
Bail.
I think.
I just think that's a waste.
Well, Bail might, like you said, Bail might be too early, but I think Mon Mothma is not too early myself.
I think if we go this direction, where it's Bail or Mon Mothma, it is prolonging this thing which is already taking too long. We need to see some action. Wrecker's head, the chip has been activated in Wrecker's head.
Let's do it, Wrecker.
If it's not Ahsoka, it is another Jedi that is out there looking for payback.
Well, like I said, another Jedi that's
payback.
That's disposable.
Mm-hmm. So that thinking is different. Hold on, because Jedi don't look for payback.
Quinlan Voss might
have never gone through this kind of a genocide before.
Right.
Oh, I get it, but Jedi. It's not the Jedi way.
It's not the Jedi way.
Right. So,
like I said,
if it's a Jedi looking for revenge, I want in.
Yeah, that'd be some Krell.
If the order is fallen level. and everybody and they say Yoda left, Obi-Wan left, they're alive.
As far as they're aware, the great heroes Anakin and Obi-Wan are dead.
Right.
As far as if the best of them could get wiped out by the clones, what chance do they stand without having an army of their own, an army of battle droids?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see in episode 11.
God, I hope not.
18.
Yeah, right.
That's when we're gonna be like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And there's only 16 episodes, so
I get bonus content on mine.
Right.
Oh, do you? 2 episodes into season 2, that's when we're gonna find out what's really going on.
Please don't be a season 2. Just let's just go balls out and let's do it.
Agree.
Yeah.
Go balls out, and I don't want 2 seasons of it. I want to move on to the next thing. That's the other thing. I'm okay with all of these shows being one shots.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that we have more Mandalorians. I do, but I could have been okay if they would have just lengthened it a little bit, made it 1 season, and let me go.
Yeah.
But I like the connection with everything else now. You kind of needed the 2.
Yeah, because
now, I mean, we're following. We're not just following a Mandalorian. We're following the Mandalore.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting a whole new level of this show there.
They're going in the direction of like vastly opening it up. The first 2 were about him, Grogu, and everything. Now it's gonna be a world building.
The first one was about him and Grogu. The second one was starting to break open. It was like,
yeah, you're right.
Every week was a freaking whoa.
Yeah, like big time cameos and everything.
Did you ever think in your life that you would live to see a day where there was a show that focused on not only Mandalorians but the whole Mandalore society? And
I thought Clone Wars was it.
Yeah, I was amazed when it happened in Clone Wars. Whenever we got some Mandalorians there,
and then they pussified them.
Yeah, they took out all the old fight out of them, made them all pacifists,
except for Death Watch.
Yeah. And I mean, now
I know,
but now we're actually getting the Mandalorians we always heard rumors about, and
the clan, the old ways of doing things. Oh, and that's the Mandalorian, the code, right? That this is the way. That was the that's why they wanted to bring that back.
Okay, so do you think somehow? Okay, I know Wrecker's obviously the heavy ass Mando. We
Right.
know
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah,
Do you think they'll all become kind of like that? This is the way. Are we going to see the beginning of This Is the Way?
Wouldn't it be
No.
cool?
It would be cool.
It
starts with clones making new Mandalorians and taking on kids like Omega.
I mean,
And
think
that's
about
how this
it.
new sect of Mandalorians comes. We don't say they're
Yeah.
all from Mandalore. They're a sect, right? They're
Right.
religious zealots. They could just be the ones that were. They could be like the guys are just leftover clones,
Right, when they
Mhm.
found Din
because they
Djarin,
are Mandalorian.
right.
If Boba
Essentially.
can, if Boba can be, they can be.
Mhm.
The Clone Wars would have been a perfect breeding ground for it, and
Mhm.
starting for that old way of doing things, especially like they rescued Din Djarin and trot him that way. That could have been their like the foundlings. The start of it, like that whole thing.
I look back. I look back at the old rumors that we had always heard as what the Clone Wars were whenever we were kids.
Right.
And the rumor that I always heard was that Boba Fett was really Jaster Muriel, a journeyman protector and a veteran of the Clone Wars who was on the side of the clones,
Right.
who were who were the Mandalorians. And I'm like,
Right.
well, they didn't do any of that. But then if you think about it, they really did.
They did.
Django was a
Yeah.
Mandalorian,
Yeah, right,
and that
yeah.
was an entire army of Mandalorians.
By
I'm
proxy,
like,
Yeah.
they did. Yeah, sure.
holy crap! It actually played out the way that we thought.
Right.
Insane.
And even their helmets for a good portion of it looked
like Mandalorian modified Mandalorian
Yes, they did.
helmets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Mando Mike just said, thank you, Kathleen Kennedy, for greenlighting all these shows. And it's, you know what? She gets a lot of hate for
For doing good
one movie
thing.
that people don't like. Otherwise, everybody is loving.
Oh, but
this crap.
that was the Civil War in the Lucasfilm. That's
Yeah.
To be fair, it's a trilogy.
yeah,
You
right,
know,
yeah,
at least 2/3 of the trilogy was pretty split.
correct,
Mhm.
yeah. But she had nothing to do with Mandalorian, and she had nothing
No,
to do with
no, it was all Jon Favreau. That was
She
all him.
only did episodes 8, 9, and Resistance.
exactly.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. Oh, and she's being fired again this week. So
Oh, is she
And
being
then-
fired again?
I don't know.
I just saw her on set with Indiana Jones, so I.
That's
don't
right.
think-
That's right. Oh,
She was standing right there in front of
yeah.
Harrison Ford.
There was a thing saying that Kathleen Kennedy's contract will not be renewed, and if
Yeah,
you
because
if-
she's retiring.
exactly
'Cause she's
3 years
104.
ago. 3 years ago, during our podcast, we had that exact same thing where she had a 3-year extension to her contract.
Mhm.
And therefore, she might be stepping down as president of Lucasfilm. And we even talked to, remember, we had the discussion on who could take that place. So if, again, lose. When she does step down and wants to retire, it's because her contract was.
fired.
You're right. Her contract
We-
wasn't renewed because she
We
didn't
said
renew
that same
it.
thing. We said that 3 years ago, too.
3 years
we said
ago.
that same thing. We're
Yeah.
like, this is when people are going to say, oh, I told you so. for
Yeah,
3
yeah.
years.
So funny.
At this point, I just wanted to renew, just to to
Look.
everybody.
I wanted to renew, then retire.
Right?
I got
I'd
it,
like to see new
suckers.
blood. I would love to see new blood. But people will interpret that as, oh, see, I knew you
She
hated
got
Kathleen
fired.
Kennedy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Um,
not really, but no.
and did we mention Dave Filoni's promotion
Yes,
last week?
yes.
That was like retroactively done.
Yeah.
promotion.
It was
Yeah.
updated on the official sites and stuff as his position,
Right.
which
We
is not
did-
a sole
Did we talk
position.
about it though?
Yeah, we
very little,
mentioned
but-
that. Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not a sole position either. By the way, people think it's this like he's now the sole head, story guy or executive thing. No, there's actually several people with that title, and he's just got upgraded to that title.
Scott, we talked about it in chat. for
Okay.
sure. That's what it was.
I do not. Everybody keeps saying put him in charge of everything. I don't want him in charge of everything because I don't want him taken out of the creative aspect
Right.
and given some kind of an executive position
No.
where all he does is give green lights.
There's two people that
Yeah.
would work. Dave Filoni in charge of the content, and
Mhm.
Jon Favreau would be producing all that stuff. Kevin Feige
But even that
of
would take
Star
Jon
Wars.
Favreau out of the writing.
No, Jon
Right.
Favreau does. I don't think he writes. He doesn't. I don't
He
think
does.
He
I
wrote
just
he writes
watched.
all the
Oh,
scripts.
did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
I
I-
just watched Mando season 2 again, and it's written by Jon Favreau as most of the best episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost always. He writes the overview of the whole season.
The overview.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah, 'cause
don't
it's-
want that dude to get either of those dudes to get
Right.
put in a position to where they are not actively creating
No,
content.
what people
Right.
don't understand I think, is that they're looking at Kathleen Kennedy as somebody who is in every meeting saying, do this, don't do this, don't do this. I think that she has what Kathleen Kennedy did, and I think where she gets the flack is she put a story group together. Now, that story group gets flack because of their diversity. And some people don't like that. The chalkboard of like I said, diversity twice, right? Their agendas. Okay. Now people look into it as their agendas. Kathleen Kennedy put that team together. I think she just kind of steps back and lets things happen. Yeah, she has overall say, and she can kill projects. I get that, and she can make a break. But I don't think she has the knowledge to put together the timeline like a Favreau or a Filoni. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
So she's the person.
That's why she doesn't need to be the story group.
So
She needs
Favreau
to be
goes
the
to her.
person in charge
Well,
of
yeah, they
greenlighting.
go to her and say, "This is what we want to do because it makes sense." She goes, "Yeah, cool, that makes sense." And they're like, "Okay, can we get this money and can we get these people to do it?" And as an
Exactly.
executive producer and CEO, or her position is, yeah,
President.
let's do it.
Yeah.
But she happens to be the the fall person, the
Mhm.
the patsy. She happens to be the person who will take all the bad credit and the good credit that goes along with it. So, yeah, you're right. And if you put a Favreau in there, yeah, you don't want him to concentrate his uncreative efforts into that because my point was Kathleen Kennedy, whose job is more than just like I said, she's not a content creator. She put together the team that gets the slack. Therefore, she's the follow-up.
You don't want all your special on your boots on the ground people in the executive chairs.
I don't even think Jon Favreau would do it. First of all,
what does DC have right now?
Yeah.
Jeff Johns and Jim Lee up in high executive levels, and how is DC doing right now?
Exactly.
Right? Because would you ever say, when those two got promoted to those positions, would you have said one bad word about Jim Lee or Jeff Johns?
No.
Never.
I still wouldn't say anything about Jim Lee.
Right.
Right. But I think Jeff Johns had his share of issues.
Jeff Johns run his course, I think.
Right.
Myself.
And at the time, I mean, who was the hottest comic writer out there? It was Jeff Johns, was saving the world and everything, right? I think he had just saved Flash or Aquaman or one of the two. He had just finished up the Lantern series. And it was just like, but that's where Filoni is right now. He saves the world, that's giving him everything, but we don't want that to happen and necessarily put somebody in a position where they're set up to
correct. And also Filoni's getting a lot of credit because he's writing in the time that everybody loves. Okay, so the Galactic Empire time, post and pre.
You take. I want to see Filoni do something. Yeah, in a different era. You're right.
That's the reason why he's getting a lot of credit. I'm not taking anything away from it. I love it. I love the fact that we're in this time frame because that's my favorite. But he has
the best characters and the best time
correct.
frame.
Yeah.
You're right.
So we'll see. I mean, if she goes off in the sunset like she should, because she's been around for a long time, and someone else gets in there, they're just going to be the fallback person too. They're going to be the face of Lucasfilm to be criticized and never credited for things that they do right.
Always.
Like as Gordon pointed out, today is actually Dave Filoni's birthday.
Oh, and happy birthday, Dave, if he listens. Dave,
June 7th, 1974.
Damn.
Dude's the same age as me.
Yeah, you're in 74 too, right, Scott?
Yeah. Look what I've done. He's created Star Wars. I'm just here.
No. He didn't create Star Wars. He took over Star
He's
Wars.
creating Star Wars.
Exactly. Yeah. He's the protege of George Lucas. I mean, he was.
That's the thing.
He's handpicked. I mean, you know the story of him, how he got handpicked. I mean, he was
that's where you kind of want him to run it because of that. That's why I think all of us are emotionally like, hey, let's let Filoni run it because he's Lucas Jr.
Right.
But that's also why
and evidently, I think he is going to be the final say in this promotion. He's going to have the final say overall in all of Star Wars, meaning the story. The story is the most important.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know yet. Let's see, because so far 5 episodes in, I've seen all these episodes before this episode.
That's true. So this is why I was kind of getting a little discouraged, right, in our chat. Like, come on, Filoni, you know how to do this. Yeah.
He's I did, and I did it. I don't want to have to do it again.
He's like,
come on, guys. Filoni knows how to do this.
He's like, here, we want 16 episodes of Bad Batch. Well, I wrote Clone Wars Season 8, so here you go. It's
let's just change a few things here and there. And you know what? I used some of these ideas in Mando, so sorry, but
just rehash it. They'll be fine. They'll bitch for a couple episodes, and then once Vader comes in and has another hallway scene, it's just it's just
right. Yeah. Hey, you think we should do the tactical droid thing again? Yeah, why not?
If it ain't broke,
nobody will notice. It worked last time.
Except for 3 people on a podcast.
You guys are too harsh. I thought it was good.
We're passionate.
It's fine. I haven't thrown my remote
Yeah.
at the TV and discussed or anything. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. It's like when I was a kid and watching Inspector Gadget. It was like, okay,
That's
cool.
right. That's right. We never got to see the claw. We never got to see him.
I'm gonna move on now, and just I'll see you next week. And that's where I'm at right now. I'll see you next week.
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
Nice. See?
But,
And you say you never create anything, Scott.
right.
Master of voices.
I can do voices.
I forget it's coming out. I'm not up waiting for it on Thursday nights.
Sometimes I'm sitting there and I go, oh crap, Batch is tonight.
Oh, sometimes I wake up in the morning and see YouTube, and I'm like,
Ah,
oh, there was an episode. Hold on.
yeah.
Friday morning breakfast time. Julie and I
Yeah,
with
yeah.
our bagel in front of the TV watching Bad Batch.
I'm up,
Yeah.
so I watch it Thursday nights. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's not a problem.
Weirdo.
I will be watching Loki on Wednesday though. That looked fun. The last
Oh, is that
trailer.
Wednesday night?
Wednesdays, yeah. Well,
Wednesday.
again, I don't know if it's going to be a permanent Wednesday because you know how sometimes they put like the first episode and the second one on Friday. I hope they don't
Yeah,
incongruent.
But the reason they wouldn't do Fridays is because Bad Batch.
Right. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
Wednesdays should be a thing. Like make Marvel Wednesdays and Star Wars Fridays. That'd be cool.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Winter Soldier was every Friday, wasn't it?
It was.
So was Wanda.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Again, it might be like Loki's episode 1 Wednesday and episode 2 Friday, and then every Friday.
This is the first one we've overlapped, though.
correct.
Yeah.
There haven't
Oh.
been. Did Wanda and Bad Batch at all?
No.
Or Wanda and Mando? No.
Nope.
So we're looking at June 9th is episode 1, which is this Wednesday. June 16th is episode 2.
So every Wednesday then.
Next
every Wednesday.
Cool. I love
Must
that.
have been at Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. That's smarter.
Keep it that way.
Especially right now where it seems like we have a lot of stuff coming out, right? I haven't done
Right.
my checklist. But Book of Boba Fett, Fett's not the only thing this year. We're getting visions and something else that we haven't heard about. It
Yeah.
was something.
I said we'll the second half of the
I
year.
forgot
I'm
what
sure
was it?
we'll have to.
Visions.
Is it that droid show? The animated.
I didn't know.
The droid thing was supposed to be animated too.
Maybe that's what it was.
I don't know. I haven't honestly heard anything other than Bad Batch and Book of Boba Fett supposedly. So
I thought it was
Visionary.
just Visions
Visions
and
is coming.
Boba Fett.
That's it. Those are the three things. Bad Batch was the third one.
That's right.
I was skipping right over the one I was talking about.
gotcha.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, and we actually, did a lot of talk on that really bad filler episode. No, it wasn't that bad.
It
but
was not bad.
I'll mute Scott right now. So
It was an
let me
episode.
find his mute button. No, I'm kidding, Scott. No, it was good. See,
That's
look,
what you guys did to
Vince-
me earlier. That's
No,
what happened.
I swear, I don't have that ability. Because if I mute you, it kicks you. So, yeah.
As Mike is very well aware.
Yes.
I've done that to Mike. My bad. My bad.
Exactly.
You're right. That's right.
All right, cool. Thank you, everybody in the pit, for joining in and talking Star Wars with us. We will be back again on Monday for the episode 6 of Bad Batch, which is everything's gonna explode, man. We're gonna have chaos. It's just gonna.
We're gonna see Boba Fett, and we're gonna see Rex, and we're gonna see Jabba. Are we gonna see Jabba?
No, I think that was a one-shot cameo, Bib Fortuna thing.
Ooh.
I know, but it doesn't make sense for Jabba to really. I mean, okay, well, of what we got so far, right? I mean,
I don't know why I want Jabba. I just feel like I want Jabba.
you're right.
I feel like this is part of that whole scum and villainy thing that we've been, wanting for
Yeah.
so long. We've got it
Well,
a little bit in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
seriously,
Mando
these guys
is
are
ours.
mercenaries working for Sid. These are the
Right.
scum and villainy guys here.
You're
Yeah.
very right. This is what they've been talking about, right? This
Mhm.
is we've seen the lowers of Coruscant already. We've already seen Ord Mantell. We've already seen, you're right. This is the underground stuff. So
Mhm.
this is the cool time to see the gangsters. And we've seen a Faline
Yes.
yeah, right.
too, right? I mean, there's got to be a point. There has to be a point where we see the Black Sun in full glory,
Yep.
right?
It's-
Like with
We keep
Shizor.
saying, right, this is the perfect time, perfect setting. Mando with perfect time, perfect setting.
Mando's probably better.
Solo,
Obi-Wan's
perfect
probably
time, perfect
better.
setting. I mean, it's like
And Solo is the perfect time.
Yeah.
And Andor might be, but I mean, can we get a little bit of a preempt here?
yeah,
And-
right, yeah, yeah.
Young Shizor, or was the Moochie kid Shizor?
Oh, right, yeah.
We don't know. I mean, I need something.
Could be.
I need something.
My name's
Do we
Shizor.
need
That's
Shizor?
Moochie.
Do we need Shizor though?
We
I
need-
mean,
yeah.
You know, that'd
'cause
be
it's a throwback because we've
Yeah,
already had
that's what
Fallines.
it
We've had Fallines and Black Sun, right? And they're cool.
we did have Black Sun. That's
We-
right.
We did, and they were full garb. They were just like the book, right?
Yep.
It was no
Yep.
ifs, ands, or buts. The fact that they didn't have Shizor, I took it based on his age, right? Because he would only be 30s maybe in Empire.
Right.
I forget his actual age, so I just want to see him. Damn it! I just want.
Yeah.
I like the links.
Like
I
Chris
like
said,
links
it's
to the old stuff.
It's a throwback to something because Shadows. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It can't happen. But
It can't now.
right. But characters can, just like we talked about Mara Jade coming in. The characters can. Shizor, Dash Render. We can have them. You know.
Yeah, we got Thrawn.
Yeah.
We got Thrawn.
Perfect.
So I mean, same
Yeah.
thing. Same exact.
So
thing.
yes, I'm going to say that kid was Shizor.
Confirmed.
Until
Confirmed.
we're going to confirm it until
I
it's
mean-
unconfirmed.
It was a female Feline. The name is Shizor. I mean, yeah, there we go.
You're assuming it was a female.
Right. Don't assume.
Never
Scott.
once did it say she is tired.
That's true.
Oh.
I think it did.
Oh,
Moochie
maybe.
is so scared. Did it say? Did it? I don't know.
Yeah, they mentioned it a female. I think Sid did it.
Yeah,
Sid,
whatever.
yeah.
That's Shizor's sister. She's
She's Okay, all right, guys. All right.
This is getting off.
Let's get out of here. Again, thank you everybody for joining us. Join us next time. Like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification because we will be going live again next Monday, 8:00.
Ooh, maybe with a new interface.
Yes, it's happening.
Maybe.
It's happening. And
Maybe.
I promise you guys, we will have more content come in, more shorter content, different kinds. I'm not going to announce anything here, but it is coming. So we're working on things round the clock over here at the Sarlacc pit. So with that, I'm your host, Darth Moocher. Scott Solo, where can we find you?
Hey, you can find me on all the social medias, Instagram, not Twitter. I don't think I've been on Twitter in a month or two. And Facebook. The Art of Scott Solo, or just look up Scott Kruger. I'm there. Check us out in the Sarlacc Digest Central Facebook group where you can catch up with everybody that's in the chat right now. Catch up with all of us. Just shoot the breeze, talk Star Wars, have some fun.
Absolutely. And Chris, where can we find you?
I quit social media.
Exactly.
Smart
I'm
man.
here every Monday. You
Smart
notice his
man.
unstressed, happy face?
Yeah.
That's because I don't deal with it.
Like I said,
Anyway,
just-
if
you just
if
go
you want to get a
post
hold
and
of us,
okay.
if you want to get a hold of us, just DM me on any of them. I'll find you.
There you
And
go.
we'll talk, and I will post some stuff here and there to say we're still alive. But that's about it. Hey, you know what I did this week? I watched Ragnarok, and you know what? Damned if Ragnarok is not still pretty much my favorite.
Yeah,
Marvel.
it's great.
I love
It's
it.
great.
Just want to
Yeah.
throw that out there. I don't hate Marvel. I just don't like all of them because you know what I did after that? I watched the Infinity War and Endgame
Yeah, of
right
course.
after because I wanted to see Thor after Ragnarok.
Right.
Mhm.
I
And Infinity War is okay, and
Mhm.
Endgame sucks donkey dick.
It's
Just
yeah. I didn't enjoy it. It was that emotional impact they were trying to go for.
Uh-huh.
It just didn't land for me.
Yeah.
ever. Just
No.
so just back to that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Those movies do
Yep.
suck, but Ragnarok is probably my favorite out of all. Of
Yeah,
them.
I
Even
run
with
through
Thor and
the
Guardians. Thor and Guardians. They're all
Guardians is
awesome.
great. Yeah, I run through the 22 movies every once in a while. I sit
Yeah.
there and I start with Iron Man and end it with Superman, Spider-Man 2, and I enjoy it like for what it is. I enjoy it. I like comic book movies and they're fantastic. But
There's
yeah,
plenty of good ones in there. Plenty of
Yeah.
good ones.
There-
Just
and
those
there are
last
some
two
I
just
can
did
skip.
not do it.
And really just not even blink an eye.
Yeah.
So
Hey, can I do a shout out really quick?
Yes.
To this wonderful action figure stand company that creates these amazing action figure stands that hold up really well. The figures don't fall over. It's great.
nice.
And the Tashi Station Emporium. Is that it? Tashi Station Emporium.
Yes.
Yeah, I got I want to say it was about 85 stands for my 3 3/4 inch
Yeah.
action figure collection this week, and I still need more, but not a damn one of them have fallen over since I put all my Indiana Jones and
Awesome.
Star Wars figures on them. So, hey, Tashi Station Emporium, check them out.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You
Yeah.
see back there, Asajj can pose now because of those
Nice.
stands. And Veers hasn't knocked Thrawn over once this week.
Nice.
All because of Tashi Station Emporium. This guy over here.
Thank you.
Word to
That
your
is
mom.
my hustle, my side hustle.
That's right.
Yeah, it's actually taken off really good, and I'm happy with it, and trying to improve on the stands every day. So, and I've got a lot more coming. So, trying to make it a full-time thing.
That's
Right on.
awesome.
It's because we're all collectors and tired of stuff falling on the floor every day.
Marco's going to have like a whole wall of 3D printers to take care of all the orders that are going to come in.
I'm working on it. I need a second wall. I'm working on it. I've got 3 running full 24/7. So,
Jesus.
yeah.
right.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah. So again, everybody, thank you. We'll see you next week. And also to remember to head over to Ernie's They're Not Dolls and go check them out. Also on the Red 5 Network, go support all those shows and the ROU Raw Live Podcast Network. And with that, Scott,
Keep it nerdy, everybody.